He wasn't born royal, he wasn't born rich, yet he became Emperor of France. This is the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who changed the map of Europe, rewrote laws, and reshaped modern warfare. But his story is more than just battles and crowns. It's about raw ambition, genius strategy, and the price of power. From a bullied Corsican boy to the master of Europe, to a lonely exile on a forgotten island. This is how one man bent the world to his will and lost it all. Chapter 1. Corsican Roots. Napoleon was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, just months after it had been annexed by France. His family had noble blood but little wealth, and Corsicans were treated as outsiders in France. At military school in France, Napoleon was mocked for his accent, his birthplace, and his awkward manners. But he was brilliant, particularly in math, history, and military theory. While other boys played, Napoleon studied strategy. While others followed, he observed, planned, and prepared. He didn't just want to fit in. He wanted to rise above. By age 16, he was a commissioned officer in the French artillery. But what truly launched him wasn't schooling. It was the chaos of the French Revolution. As France tore itself apart, opportunity bloomed for the ambitious. Chapter 2. Fire and Glory. Italy and Egypt. At just 26, Napoleon was given command of the army of Italy. Most thought he was too young, too unproven. But Napoleon didn't just win. He outmaneuvered, outthought, and outpaced his enemies. He led daring marches through the Alps, crushed Austrian forces, and negotiated peace terms that made him, not France, the hero. He didn't just win battles, he won stories. He knew how to make victory feel like legend. Then came Egypt. In 1798, he led a bold expedition to weaken Britain's influence. The Battle of the Pyramids was a swift victory, but at sea, the British Navy, under Nelson, destroyed the French fleet. The expedition failed strategically, but Napoleon returned to France before the news did, and spun the loss into glory. He learned, in politics, perception is everything. Chapter 3. Master of France. In 1799, France was ruled by a fragile government called the Directory, corrupt, inefficient, and unpopular. Napoleon saw his moment. With support from allies and soldiers, he staged a bloodless coup, becoming first consul of France. By 1804, he had consolidated power so completely that he crowned himself emperor, refusing to let the Pope do it, a symbolic act of supreme control. He reformed the nation. The Napoleonic Code made laws consistent and logical. He centralized government. He created public schools. He stabilized the economy and balanced the budget. People didn't just fear Napoleon, they believed in him. But belief, unchecked, can grow into obsession. Chapter 4. War Machine. Napoleon wasn't content with ruling France. He wanted to reshape all of Europe. From 1805 to 1812, he won battle after battle. Austerlitz, his masterpiece, defeating both Austria and Russia. Jena Auerstedt, crushing Prussia in a matter of days. Wagram and Friedland, expanding his empire. He redrew borders, appointed his brothers as kings, but each victory planted seeds of rebellion. In Spain, resistance turned bloody. Napoleon's forces faced brutal guerrilla warfare, a term coined during that war. Meanwhile, his continental system, designed to economically blockade Britain, backfired, strangling his own allies and industries. The empire grew bloated, and then he made a fatal choice. Chapter 5. The Russian Disaster. In 1812, Napoleon invaded Russia with over 600,000 troops, the largest army Europe had ever seen. But the Russians didn't fight in open fields. They retreated deeper into the country, burning crops and towns behind them, a scorched earth tactic. Napoleon captured Moscow, only to find it abandoned and on fire. No food, no supplies, no surrender. With winter approaching, he ordered a retreat. Then came the cold, the hunger, the ambushes. By the time the shattered army limped back into friendly territory, fewer than 100,000 men remained. It wasn't just a defeat. It was a collapse. Chapter 6. The Empire Crumbles. The rest of Europe saw its chance. In 1813, a coalition of nations attacked. At the Battle of Leipzig, Napoleon was decisively defeated. In 1814, the Allies invaded France. Paris fell. Napoleon was forced to abdicate. But they didn't kill him. Instead, they sent him to Elba, a tiny Mediterranean island. He was given 1,000 men and allowed to rule it. A mockery of his former empire. Yet even in exile, he was plotting. Chapter 7. The 100 Days and Waterloo. In 1815, Napoleon escaped Elba and returned to France. The French army was sent to stop him. But when they saw him, they cheered. He returned to Paris, retaking power without firing a shot. For 100 days, Europe held its breath. But the Allies responded swiftly. At Waterloo in Belgium, Napoleon faced British and Prussian forces. He fought fiercely, but miscommunication, heavy rain, and the late arrival of Prussian reinforcements doomed him. He was defeated for good. This time, the Allies made no mistake. He was exiled to St. Helena, a remote island in the South Atlantic. There, he lived out the rest of his days, writing memoirs, reflecting on power, and slowly dying of illness and isolation. He died in 1821, at age 51. Legacy of a legend. Napoleon's legacy is complex. He was a genius general, yet his wars killed millions. He was a modernizer, yet became a dictator. He gave Europe order, but at the price of endless war. To this day, he is studied, admired, and debated. Because he wasn't just a man, he was an era. Thanks for watching the rise and fall of Napoleon. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story from history that changed the world. Got a topic you want to see next? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want even deeper dives into untold history and legendary figures, check out the next video on the screen now. Until then, stay curious.